Hello, everyone. This is Al Fadi, and I want to welcome you back to part two of our video series with AP, the apostate prophet, on the Mary paradox. Last time, we talked about some of the glaring contradictions that we can find in the Quran when it comes to the person of Mary, the mother of Jesus, of course, who she is, her genealogy, her encounter with either the angel Gabriel or with Allah, and also other aspects of her life herself, like in chapter 3 of the Quran, Surah Al-Imran, or in chapter 19, the chapter that is named after her, by the way, known as the chapter of Maryam, which is the Arabic way of saying Mary, and the confusion that we find also in the Quran in associating Mary or Maryam, the mother of Jesus, to Maryam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, which is a span of at least 13 to 1400 years in difference between the two Marys, if you wish. So that was the angle we took last time. This time we're going to try to venture into some of the Islamic way that are presented to either massage this problem, cover up this problem, or provide a plausible explanation for this mishap. In fact, I would direct your attention, a website like Islamic Awareness, for instance, will tell you that this is not an issue to worry about the fact that Mary, the mother of Jesus, is called the sister of Aaron. And they even point out to you that this issue was brought up to our attention first by St. Clair Tisdale when he wrote about this issue in the original sources of the Quran. Be it as it may, we are going to focus now on addressing this with our guest, AP, who is with us here in studio virtually. AP, thank you so much again for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Al. I'm pleased to be back.
Thank you. So what angle now you want to take in addressing this Mary paradox, and specifically, the possible objections raised by Muslims, or let's say cover-ups, if you wish?
Well, the last time we talked about how Mary is called sister of Aaron, she's called daughter of Imran. These are two big issues that don't seem to make sense. Only one of them could be somehow brushed off and explained away, although insufficiently by Muslims, as saying, well, spiritual sister or spiritual daughter, descendant, whatever they may want to call it. But we have two problems that seemingly make this entire problem much bigger. And Mary is referred to twice as daughter of Imran. This time I want to focus a little bit on who the father of Mother Mary was according to the Christian tradition and the Christian texts. Some of the responses that Muslims usually bring up, how to deal with these, and finally what this big paradox, this big problem means for us and for Islam. And do you want me to go ahead?
Absolutely, yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to go ahead with saying, as said, we have Mary, daughter of Imran. When you look at the biblical history, Imran is Arabic for Amram. Amram is the father of Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Whereas Mother Mary's father is not known as Amram or as Imran in the Christian history. In the Christian tradition, we have early references to the father of Mary, and his name is Joachim or Yehoiakim. And that doesn't sound anything like Imran, as said, or as Imran. So how exactly did Joachim become Imran? When we ask this question, there is usually no answer to this. When we ask why exactly this happened, how it happened, how people could possibly have called him falsely Yehoiakim or, Joachim, how this could have possibly changed, or why this changes, why Islam does not get this name right, why Islam does not call him by that name, why Islam gives him a completely different name, which is unfamiliar to us, we don't get a proper response. On top of that, it is not only that that the name is incorrect. It is also that the name is, I mean, incorrect is is an understatement. It is completely disconnected. The problem is also that while the Islamic name for Mary's father is completely false and disconnected from the name that we traditionally know, it also happens to correspond exactly with Amram in the Bible, who is the father of Miriam and the father of Aaron, which exactly fits into the description of this obscure Mary in the Quran. So is that really a coincidence that the Quran not only gets the name wrong, but also gives that person the name Imran, and also calls Mary the sister of Aaron? These are two things. Can this really be a coincidence? These are three things, actually. Can this really be a coincidence? It seems hard to believe. If you look further into the Islamic texts, especially into the traditions, into the hadiths, we see that there are hadiths, such as Sahih Muslim 165b, which is, in English, you can read this, in which Muhammad describes his supposed encounter with Moses on his journey to heaven. And he calls Moses, according to this hadith, Musa bin Imran. So he calls Moses son of Imran. So Imran is also, according to those sources, the father of Moses, which makes sense, which is right according to the biblical narrative. Amram is the father of Moses. But then again, in a different hadith, like Sahih Bukhari 34:11, it again does that same thing and calls Mary the daughter of Imran. It says that Mary was among the women elevated as the daughter of Imran. Mm-hmm. And the daughter of Imran, the figure of Imran, is always pointed out together with Mary, not always, many times pointed out together with Mary as a person of significance. Who is Mary? Well, the daughter of Imran. Okay, but who is Imran? As we have established, it doesn't make sense. Now, we have several issues, several objections that come from the Muslim side. As said, some of them want to bring up this entire objection that Muhammad made, apparently, according to the hadith. Muhammad supposedly said, in response to this problem, that this was a practice in the time of Mother Mary. Mm-hmm. People used to call humans by the names of prophets or of significant people who came before them. But notice, what we have here is Christians are asking this question. Christians in the region are asking the question, and they are saying, wait a minute, why do you call Mary sister of Aaron when Aaron lived a very long time apart from Mother Mary? And Muhammad then says, well, this is just something that people did back then. But nobody apparently knows. If we look into historical accounts, we don't have any examples of such a practice. Christians don't know of such a practice. Jews don't know of such a practice. And it happens to be a very big coincidence that in Mary's time, they picked Aaron to refer to her as sister of Aaron. Mm-hmm. Now, you could say that Mary may be from the lineage of the priesthood of Aaron, which could appear to make sense. But again, why refer to her as sister of Aaron?
Exactly.
And why unite that with Imran? Doesn't that kind of look like Islam wants to crudely put mess with us? You know?
Exactly. Like it's like if you look at the genealogy of Jesus, I'm going to use just a quick example here. In Matthew's account, he called him Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Imagine if he says the brother of David, the brother of Abraham. Oh, dear Lord, how many Muslims are going to attack the veracity of the Bible and the accuracy of the Bible and so on and so forth. So why is this okay, but it's not okay if it is mentioned differently?
In fact, some Muslims bring up this objection. They say Jesus is referred to as the son of David, but hey, Jesus was not the son of David. So is that also a mistake? That's what they say when we bring up this issue with Mary.
Right.
But the comparison, as said, is completely is absurd. I mean, son of David makes sense. This is something that was in use. It makes sense within the theology of Christianity as well. And son is completely different from sister or brother. This is not something that you can properly compare. If it said daughter of Aaron, then we could say, okay, well, it couldn't mean anything else. It doesn't make sense. It probably refers to her as, a spiritual descendant of Aaron, but it doesn't. It says sister of Aaron, and on top of that, it also says daughter of Imran. And these are just big confusions. When I sit here as somebody who questions the authenticity and the authoritativeness of Islamic sources, what I think is, why does it do this and this and that? Don't all of these add to my confusion? Don't all these confusions, these seeming contradictions, make me doubt Islam? Why would Islam do this? Why would Allah do this? One issue that we have still is some Muslims say we are making the claim that the father of Mother Mary was known as Joachim or as Yehoiakim, but we can't really back this up because all that we have is Christian tradition, and we have a source that was considered apocryphal. We have the infancy gospels, the proto-evangelium of James, for example, in which the father of Mary is described, and he's named there as Joachim. And they say, well, you can't trust that because that is apocryphal text that is not part of the Christian scripture. But that is a very weird objection because, as you have pointed out in our last conversation, those gospels that are deemed apocryphal also contain a lot of narratives, a lot of stories that happen to correspond with stories, with issues that the Quran or that Muhammad have adopted. So things that do not exist in the Christian New Testament, but that exists in those specific texts, also appear within the Quranic narrative. So if we want to simply discredit that, the proto-evangelium of James as wrong, as unreliable, as fake, should we also then discredit all those stories within the Islamic tradition that are not in the New Testament as unreliable and as fake because they don't have any other basis? So this criticism simply falls flat. And again, why in the world would Christians know this person as Joachim? Why would this be the tradition that people know him by? Why would they make up this name? Why would it be completely unrelated to what Islam claims the name was, Imran?
Right.
I mean, there are just so many issues with this. I want to give one more example from the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, but go ahead if you wanted to.
No, I mean, if you want to maybe use that as a wrapping point for this particular part, that would be great. But by all means, I mean, everything you're saying is making sense. In fact, I would make this argument: if Muslims insist, for instance, that Muhammad is found in the Bible, then present his genealogy to me in the Bible. Whose son is he in the Bible? There is no mention of genealogy of any, every time they pick a person, either a prophet, it's called the prophet, or the comforter, or the spirit of truth. I mean, we're not talking about a person, but even if we pretend that was a person, present his genealogy to us. Even in the Quran, which is amazing, in chapter 61, verse 6, they claim that his name is Ahmed. Really? I mean, I've never known him as Ahmed. I've always known him as Muhammad. So who's Ahmed then? Help me understand. Show me the genealogy for Ahmed according to the Quran. In fact, I would argue, show me the genealogy of Muhammad, tying him to Ishmael, tying him to Abraham in the Quran. So you see why this is serious, and we're not going to really sit around, do nothing about it. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yep. One more thing to add, which I just want to add to point out how confused the Muslims back then were about this whole issue. If you open up the Arabic exegesis, the tafsirs, the interpretations of the Quran, you will see that, for example, in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, when he talks about these specific verses in the Quran, for example, when he talks about one of the chapters in chapter 19, verse 28, where it refers to sister of Aaron, he adds a lot of sources, a lot of traditions there, especially in the unabridged original Arabic version, where he lengthily explains different narrations and different traditions in which the early Muslims, the companions, and the first generations after Muhammad have discussions, heated discussions about this stuff. Who exactly Aaron is, who exactly the Mary in this case is supposed to be, what exactly her connection to Aaron is, what exactly her relation to Moses and all that is. And they come up with different theories in these tafsirs. And some of them claim to have knowledge while others don't. And one of them points out, hey, this person is not the person here described as Aaron is not Aaron, who was the brother of Moses. This is a different Aaron. And then Aisha or someone else says, no, you are wrong. And they actually lengthily discuss about this. And we see in this example that the Arabs and the Muslim community were very much uninformed and very much clueless about this topic, and this has confused them, and people have been confused about this for a long time, and this issue cannot be resolved. And if you want to go for the most reasonable explanation here, in this case, the most reasonable explanation as I see it, I don't want to speak for everybody else, is that the Quran really got something very wrong here, which is easy to do for somebody like Muhammad or others who didn't really know about the traditions and the knowledge of the Bible and the Abrahamic religion.
Yes, that's true. So how would you like to summarize then this whole thing for our viewers in case they missed the first part?
Well, there's a lot, but I would like to just point it out as mentioned, Mother Mary is supposed to be very important to Islam. That's what Muslims point out. Islam, the Quran deals with Mother Mary, but inaccurately describes her as the sister of Aaron and the daughter of Imran. As it seems, what the Quran does is that it confuses Mother Mary with a different person who is mentioned in biblical tradition, who is known as Prophetess Miriam. And you cannot exactly point at how it confuses and how it explains how they fit into the narrative of the Bible. It simply seems to get family details wrong about this Mary and holds this Mary to be the same person as this other Mary. Mm-hmm. And we can further understand this by understanding also that according to Islam, there were no female prophets. So Islam was probably unaware of the whole significance of prophetess Miriam. So Islam gets Mary and her ties and her family wrong on many different accounts. And this, with all the objections, with all the details explained now in this episode, points us at the direction to conclude that Islam makes a big mistake here, which Muslims cannot resolve, and which is a paradox that Islam cannot get out of. And this must be held as significant and pointed out.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And of course, the biggest point here, as AP mentioned, is that the Quran did not get it right. It got it wrong. And therefore, one must ask this fundamental question. Did the author of the Quran knew anything about these historical facts, in this case concerning Mary, her genealogy, her association with the genealogy of Aaron or Moses or anyone else? Therefore, we cannot just assume that just because the Quran said it so, meaning that she is the sister of Aaron, somehow that is historically accepted or even traditionally and customarily accepted, because we do not find any other events or other, I should say, records of things like this, even in the Quran itself, outside of this, to support such claims. So we have to be really on the look for anything else that can present a proof from the Islamic point of view. Until then, I think we made our case in the last two parts, last time I should say and this time, that the Quran is wrong in its assessment of who Mary is, and the fact that the Quran has contradictions concerning Mary, then we want to use the Quranic own argument against itself, that if there is any contradictions in this book, it cannot be from Allah. Point been made, case closed. And that's how we want to finish this particular part, or at least series. Again, AP, thank you so much for being here with us. And I know we're going to hopefully have you again to do more and more episodes about other topics as well. So I'll give you the last word.
Thank you so much, Al, for having me here. I will be excited to talk more about different topics. I think, yes, definitely, the point has been made. It is, if there is one mistake in the Quran, then the Quran is wrong, then Islam is wrong. And there is a mistake, therefore Islam is wrong. Should be noted. Thank you so much. And as I always say, stay away from Islam.
Thank you so much, AP. Good closing. And we want to invite those, of course, who are watching this to interact with us or interact with AP and his channel. And if you have any more questions or comments about this, we welcome them. Until next time, have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Sira International, and click on the bell so that you receive notifications whenever we publish a new video or go live. I would also like to appeal to you to consider becoming a Patreon patron by clicking the link right below. By doing so, you can give towards the production of these videos. There are also other options for you where you can give to our channel. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.